Buckle up, there are players who are 1 in a million. There are the rare ones who arrive once in a generation. And then, there are the true unicorns. Footballers who defy every law of physics, every expectation, every box you try to put them in. Right now, that player is Nick Woltemade. Forget clichés about good feet for a big man. Peter Crouch had technique, sure, but no one ever thought he could be more than a target man. Football has always followed the same rules. If you're tiny like Maradona, the ball sticks to your feet. If you're towering like Crouch, you hold it up, win headers, scrap for flick-ons. You don't dribble, you don't glide, you don't humiliate defenders. But Woltemade? He never got the memo. At 6'6" with size 50 boots, he shouldn't be able to do what he does. And yet last season, he had more successful take-ons per 90 than Raphinha or Brahim Díaz. He created more expected assists than Kane or Musiala. They call him Woltemessi in Germany, and for once, the nickname isn't a joke. Watching him feels impossible, like a glitch in the game. But here's the paradox. For all the beauty in his playmaking, Woltemade has scored only 30 goals across 7 seasons. A 6'6" striker with just 2 headed goals in his Bundesliga career. And last year, he was a free agent. So how in the world did he become a 90 million euro footballer? The story starts in Bremen, his boyhood club, 14 years in their academy, yet somehow they never figured out what to do with him. Back in 2018, Werder Bremen were drowning in mediocrity, far from the days of Klose, Diego, and Ozil. The fans were desperate for a savior. And then came Woltemade. 17 years old, captaining the under-17s, recording 26 goal contributions in 24 games. He looked unworldly. By the next season, he'd jumped 2 youth levels and was still producing, 23 goal contributions in just 15 matches. He couldn't be ignored. By the winter break, he was training with Claudio Pizarro. By February, with the pandemic shaking football, head coach Florian Kohfeldt said enough waiting and threw him into the starting 11. At just 17, Woltemade became the youngest player in Werder's history, breaking a 41-year-old record. The fans dreamed he'd be their miracle, but reality was harsher. In his first 5 games, Bremen lost 5 times. It would take him 12 league appearances to even taste victory. Then came the setbacks. Hospitalized with a viral infection, out for a month, then a torn ligament, his season ended. All he could do was watch his club suffer relegation for the first time since 1980. When Bremen clawed back to the Bundesliga, Woltemade barely featured. Nicholas Füllkrug blocked his path, injuries piled up again, and by the end of the season he had played just 1% of available minutes. Forgotten. On the brink. And then came the move that saved his career. A loan to SV Elversberg, a newly promoted 3rd division side. It was a gamble. One bad season in the 3rd tier could have killed his future forever. But Elversberg were no ordinary minnows. They had already shocked Bayer Leverkusen in the cup, and Woltemade wanted in. At first, it was tough, months spent on the bench struggling to fit in. But one substitute appearance changed everything. An assist, a spark, a start. From there, he was unstoppable. 11 goal contributions in 7 games. Penalties won, keepers chipped, Rabonas, dinks, silky dribbles no one in the 3rd tier could contain. He dragged Elversberg into contention for another promotion. Their players stunned at what he could do. By season's end, he had 19 goal contributions in the league, 7 more in the Saarland Cup, and the Player of the Season award with 56% of the vote, despite only playing 2/3 of available minutes. He scored the decisive goal on the final day to win the title. He was 21, reborn, a giant magician reminding everyone that he was too good to disappear. Back at Bremen, he was too good to ignore. But the club still wasted him. He played out of position, was given scraps of minutes, and when he finally started against Bayern Munich, he impressed, only for nothing to change. By April, he had enough. After 14 years, he announced he would not renew his contract. It was over, and that's when Stuttgart entered the picture. They had just finished 2nd, their best in 17 years, but had lost their 30-goal striker Serhou Guirassy to Dortmund. They needed a miracle, and Woltemade, available on a free, was too tempting to pass up. The perfect low-risk, high-reward gamble. Even better, Woltemade's entire family were Stuttgart fans. It felt like destiny. At first, there was no pressure. Stuttgart signed big strikers in Deniz Undav and Ermedin Demirovic, leaving Woltemade out of the Champions League squad. But then he tempted fate. On his debut start in a cup game, he rifled one into the top corner. With the German under-21s, he delivered 4 goal contributions in 3 matches. Back in Stuttgart, he scored again. Another cup goal, then his first Bundesliga strike. Slowly, quietly, he was forcing himself into the picture. Then came Union Berlin. Stuttgart were trailing at halftime. Manager Sebastian Hoeneß threw Woltemade up front. 6 minutes later, he had scored twice. One dribble past the keeper, one Berbatov-esque finish. Suddenly, Stuttgart couldn't drop him. His form exploded. Goals, assists, Team of the Week honors. By winter, he was scoring winners against Leipzig. Solo goals against Wolfsburg where he dribbled through. Defenders like a 6'6". Messi. Teammates called him the 2-meter Messi. Eurosport dubbed him Musiala in the body of a basketball player. He shrugged, simply saying, "Nobody plays like me." And he was right. With Germany's under-21s, he scored a hat-trick against Spain. At the Euros, he dominated, scoring in nearly every match, assisting relentlessly, carrying his team to the final. Across his under-21 career, he averaged a goal contribution every 55 minutes. Bayern circled, Real Madrid watched. But it was Newcastle who pounced, desperate after losing Alexander Isak to Liverpool for a record fee. They paid Stuttgart $85 million plus add-ons. Nick Woltemade, once forgotten, was now the most expensive player in their history. From a sickbed in Bremen to a third-tier loan, from rejection to rebirth, Nick Woltemade has broken every mold. He shouldn't exist, not at that size, not with those feet, and yet he does. A living paradox. A unicorn. The 2-meter Messi. So what do you think? Will Woltemade justify his $90 million price tag and become the striker Germany has been waiting for? Or is this another chapter in football's long list of prodigies who promise too much? Share your thoughts below and please like the video, it means the world.